What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 156 of the Clever and Original Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Kayley Misialek. Alongside me, the man with a plan, Jayden Reinhart.
Yeah. The plan this week was to eat food.
That's
That's something that you need to survive.
I didn't just come up with that
Good
on the
on
last
you.
second. No way. Had that on my mind the whole time.
I hope that you're eating.
Well, last week I didn't. It didn't go so well, you know.
Last week
You didn't
I didn't
eat
eat at all last week. No.
Well,
Not even a little bit.
interesting that you're here, but I
Yeah.
just won't say anything about
Well,
that.
like, fasting's a thing, right?
Yeah.
I was like, eating. Who needs it?
I mean,
Yeah.
But then
You're not
this
wrong.
week the plan is to eat,
That's a good
like almost
plan.
constantly if I can actually.
Yeah, like every second.
Yeah, like if I'm like right now I had to take a break because of the podcast. Obviously, can't eat and talk at the same time. Duh.
Mhm.
But if I'm not talking,
Well,
I'm
can
just
you?
shoving my
Well,
face.
you're
full
not
of food.
trying hard enough.
Yeah, you need to
Damn
try a
it,
little
right.
And this guy over here is Nirvana guy.
I'm not wearing that shirt.
Oh,
I'm not
fucking-
wearing it. I didn't wash it yet, so
We got 3 weeks in a row, man.
yep. I decided to wear something else.
He
Now
does
it's a
have
local band shirt.
He does have different shirts.
Yep. I do own different clothes.
At least 2.
More than that.
At the very minimum.
Like 5.
2 shirts.
No, like 6 that I actually wear. I own a bunch of shirts. I just don't wear most of them.
That's fair. Honestly, most of the time I'm wearing like this now, but normally I just wear like a black shirt.
Yeah. I'm, going for the solid colors and just buying more of those,
There you go.
Yeah.
Don't have anything on them.
Yeah.
Better
So
that way,
So the
usually.
cool kids do.
Kind of, I
Is it-
suppose, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
know what cool kids
Yeah.
do.
I don't know what the cool kids are anymore.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know high school, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
older,
Kids is a funny word.
like older
'cause
people who
I
are,
think we're all adults.
well, yes,
I mean,
yes.
yeah, we've been
We've
adults.
all been
for,
adults for a while
like
now.
4 years, 5
Cool
years
Kids. Air quotes.
5 years, yeah. Yeah, 5 years.
legally.
Mm-hmm.
But if you haven't listened to us before, we are legal adults. And we talk
Yes,
about comic book
that
movie
is
type
true.
stuff, video game type stuff, particularly in that order.
Yeah.
This week we got some a new trailer, Venom. They released a second trailer for that, showcasing more of the film. To be honest, I don't know when exactly that comes out.
October, I believe, is what it said.
Yeah, so October it comes out. Oh, we saw the trailer. What
Mhm.
are our thoughts on the trailer?
I'm a little more optimistic about it now. Still not really sure what to think about it, but it looks like there's going to be a lot more of like struggle between Eddie Brock and the symbiote. So that'll be kind of interesting to see that.
I'm not sold on the bad guy, which, I mean, if you haven't seen the trailer, you're like, what do you mean? Venom's the bad guy. And it's not so much in this movie, being that he's the main character. The bad guy, I guess, is this, like, government worker who's, like, making symbiotes attached with humans, I guess, in, like, a secret underground lab. That's what it looked like.
Yeah, that seems to be that
is
pretty.
he Carnage though? Because Carnage was in there.
Yeah, he might be.
He was silvery.
I could believe. Well,
Because at the very end, there's like 2 of them ripping each other apart. One silvery and then Venom. And when they get like ripped apart, you see Eddie Brock's face under Venom, and then you see that dude's face under the silver.
I guess I didn't know that guy's face. Yeah, guy's face.
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not sold on him. I don't think he's gonna be a good villain.
I'm
But
not sure either.
I don't think
but
that's a big problem, because this is like more of a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde story.
Yeah, that's
than
kind of
anything.
the
He's trying to
perception
let-
I get.
As
anyway.
long as Venom doesn't like weirdly give in to Eddie Brock not wanting to be evil.
Yeah, the thing
'Cause
is,
that
like,
would be dumb.
you can't have Venom be like subservient to Eddie Brock.
Right, that would make no sense. If Eddie Brock could just like summon Venom, that would make no sense. I hope that's not the case. I hope it's literally like Eddie Brock basically loses control of his body. Like
That would make more
now
sense.
controls it.
Yeah.
Venom's like evil and shit, I guess.
Yeah, that'd be cool. One thing I noticed is that they changed how they pronounce symbiote.
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah, in the first trailer,
Maybe
they made a point to call it symbiote.
Maybe there's not. Maybe that's just inconsistent.
I think that's what everyone called. I remember in the video game Spider-Man.
Well, it's like
That was like
I remember talking about this with like my roommate. It's like that's just so weird how they pronounced it in the first trailer. They pronounced symbiote, and I'm just like, it's symbiote. You know, like that's like every like Marvel thing ever. It's been called symbiote.
yeah.
That is kind of weird, actually.
And so I noticed that
I don't know
that guy said symbiote instead of symbiote, which is what they said in the first trailer. So it's very possible they could have just like redubbed it, you know.
Yeah, I can see that.
Of, kind of backlash. There was like news stories. I remember this. I mean, they were very small news stories, not big, but you know, over the pronunciation.
Yeah, like how do you pronounce it?
But yeah, so that's something I noticed. Really like the look of it. Really like the horror. Like, there's a part in the trailer where it's like the first time they do it at the end of the trailer too, where he's like has this guy, and he just starts talking about like different body parts that he's gonna like eat.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of cool. And then he licks him, and it's like that's awesome because like this feels like it should be like a horror sort of film.
Yeah, where he's like actually scary.
Yeah. And I kind of hope they go that way, and it looks like they kind of are. They do have Ruben Fleischer directing it, who directed Zombieland. So he has experience with horror films and stuff and action in the past.
I'm wondering, so like obviously Venom has some kind of goal. I think Eddie at one point in the trailer says like, "What are you trying to do?" And he's like, "Oh, you'll see," or whatever. And it's like Venom voice. Why doesn't he just take control all the time?
Maybe he can't, or maybe he doesn't want
Like,
to.
yeah, maybe it takes energy, I guess. I don't know. Because, I mean, if he wants to, like, kill everyone, let's say that's his goal, like, why not just always be Venom? I guess is my question.
Maybe Eddie Brock, it gives him a sort of secret identity, like camouflage, right?
I
Yeah,
guess.
maybe he's hiding.
Yeah, like, you know,
I mean,
being
it's-
Venom draws attention, right?
But, I mean,
Versus like being
yeah.
Eddie Brock, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, near the sort of high point of the trailer, though, it's not so much. Like, he's not a secret. Like, I think Eddie Brock walks out of, like, a building, and there's, like, a SWAT team waiting for him. So,
I mean, they
obviously,
know. I mean,
they
they
already
know.
know that Eddie Brock is, like, this weird Venom-y thing. I don't know. It was weird to me, and it's, like, a very important plot point. So, there's a couple of plot points that stand out to me from seeing the trailer that worry me, or that I'm intrigued to see how they're going to answer, but
Yeah.
But
hopefully
you
it's
know,
good.
it's
Yeah.
like a dual personality sort of thing, right?
yeah.
Like you got that with like the Hulk and the other Marvel movies. Like, it's like, why isn't the Hulk just always the Hulk? And why does he go back to Bruce Banner?
Well, Bruce Banner... Oh, I dropped my pen. Bruce Banner's, like, smart, you know?
Yeah,
And Hulk's
So,
not.
like, the
So that's,
Hulk-
like, pros and cons.
but like they don't like each other,
Right.
Yeah.
It's also, like, a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing.
right? I mean, more so than Venom, but
More
Yeah.
so than Venom.
Yeah.
But, like, Venom doesn't seem to be dumb. Like, there's that one point where he's riding on a motorcycle, and Venom, like, stretches his arms out to grab the steering wheels to turn them into, like, cars. And I don't know where Venom's from, but they probably don't have
Space.
cars. Yeah, they probably don't have cars, and so he's able to somehow get knowledge from Eddie
what,
Brock, so he's not dumb.
Yeah.
the Beyonder world, wherever
Yeah.
Secret Wars takes place.
I don't know if that's where he's from in this, but
Yeah.
But yeah,
he very well could be from somewhere entirely different.
I mean, the point is, there's probably no cars and steering wheels, so he'd
In
have to like
space.
know about Eddie's like perception on
Well,
these
like,
vehicles.
He could
to be able to do
probably, like, I mean, their mind is kind of like intertwined, right?
Right.
So, like, I'm pretty sure Venom has all of his information and, like, vice versa.
But that means he's not dumb. So what is Eddie Brock even providing at this point? He's just a body.
Maybe that's the thing, right? Maybe that's part of the story is that,
Yes.
you know, Venom is, like, why do I need you sort of thing.
Well, Venom needs him because he's a parasite,
Right.
basically.
Yeah.
But he doesn't need Eddie Brock to do anything other than be a host.
Right, so he can't let him, like, give up, basically, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
So, like, he needs Eddie Brock to somewhat be cooperative.
But I mean, it
in
kind
order
of
to
looks
get,
like
like,
Venom can just completely control his actions.
Is it, though?
I guess
It's tough to know
yeah,
without
we'll,
actually seeing
yeah,
the movie, obviously.
Yeah, when we'll
see
know
when it comes out.
We'll know when it comes out.
I mean, all these things I'm bringing up, they're just like the things I noticed in the trailer that worry me. Otherwise, it seems really cool, and I like the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, like, slowly going crazy thing. Well, that's the thing, too. In Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, it's like a time thing. Like, after a certain amount of time, he just goes back or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it's similar with Venom?
I don't know. Venom.
Like, he's got, like, a timer that starts whenever he takes control, and
This giant
I
black
don't know.
Spider-Man looking thing
Yeah.
in the middle of daylight probably isn't, like...
But why would he care? He can just kill everyone. That's kind of what it's. He's bulletproof, right? Kind of looks like it.
If they kill Eddie though, right?
Like well, it depends on like the consistency of the black goo.
Yeah, I mean,
Because if that's like thick enough, the bullet won't penetrate. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. We're arguing a lot of stuff that wasn't even in the trailer now. So
Yeah, we'll have to wait till
we'll have to wait.
Anyway, I liked how Venom looked in this.
He did
trailer.
look awesome.
It looked a lot better.
His voice, admittedly, was a little hard to understand at points, but it does seem very close to what I remember from the video games.
Yeah.
So I'm not disappointed in that. The second time watching, I did get like the armless, legless, turd, faceless thing.
I didn't. You know,
Like
I
in
think they were
convenience
going for
store,
humor there. I don't think it was that funny,
Yeah, well,
and I was just like, wow,
Venom-
that's kind of lame.
it did kind of because I played the PS2 game. What was the first Spider-Man game? Was that
Yeah, PS1.
NES.
PS1? Okay.
Wait, which?
Or not? Like,
I
well,
mean, like, there's been a lot of Spider-Man games.
on like the Sony consoles, I guess.
Like
it was
like
just
the
called
movie
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man game.
It was just called Spider-Man. I can't remember. I remember it had Doc Ock and Carnage fused. He's like chasing you down a pipe.
I don't know, maybe PlayStation 1.
I think it's
2.
PS1. But regardless, in that too, he has like similar lines,
Okay.
I guess, or it's like kind of threatening, but in like a weird joking kind of way. Not so much as like what the Joker does, where everything's like a joke all the time, but like he has like this really sick sense of humor that it's not really funny, but he finds it funny, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what that called back to me. So I didn't think, like the armless, legless, faceless turd blowing in the wind. It's like kind of funny because he says turd, but not so, like he finds it more funny, obviously, than anyone else. That's kind of the thing.
Okay.
That's my explanation of it. I think it fits him well as a character.
Sure. Yeah. But yeah, we'll see. It comes out October 5th. So,
Yeah.
a few more months. That'll be. It's August, so 3 more months.
Yeah, 3 more months.
All right, let's move on. So, we've been talking about James Gunn a lot recently. We'll talk a little bit more. Rumors suggest that Disney could reinstate James Gunn as director of Guardians of the Galaxy 3. According to Variety, sources say there's been a growing feeling that Gunn could be reinstated, especially because Marvel and Disney have been unusually radio silent on who could replace him since the firing. End quote. Basically, goes on to say that a new director would have to hired quickly in order to meet the production schedule. However, there is no current release date for the film, so it wouldn't technically be delaying. However, then we got a report a few days later saying Disney is unlikely to rehire James Gunn.
I mean, I doubt they will. I mean, that's
yeah.
like they did it, so they kind of have to just like stick with it.
Yeah.
That's just it's kind of going back on that. Something like that is just not a good idea.
No.
Even if you were wrong, it's usually not a good idea to go back on something like that.
I guess the studio, this according to this by Variety, recognized that the Guardians cast members such as Chris Pratt and Zoe Saldana stopped short of threatening to quit the series with their comments.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that they're in like a really bad situation now, and there's not a good way out, and they just got to keep going, you know.
I feel like it's going to be pretty unavoidable for the unannounced release date, mind you, to not be delayed.
Because they got to get a new director.
Even if they immediately hire a new director, he's got to like figure out James Gunn's notes and like where he's going with it, or start over. Like
maybe not start over, but at least change it up a bit.
Yeah, because it's hard to like. 'Cause obviously, James Gunn had this like vision or whatever for this movie, and if anyone else just kind of jumps in, it's hard to just like take over the same vision, I guess.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's going to be unavoidable for some kind of delay, but it's not really that disappointing because it's a delay of an unknown release date. So it's still far enough in the future to where it's probably not going to be a huge deal.
Yeah, they haven't really announced many of the films that are going to come after Avengers 4. Right. The only one we know of for sure is Spider-Man sequel, which is coming like a few months afterwards, in July, I believe. But yeah, I mean, I would be okay with James Gunn coming back. Yeah, but I also understand, you know, he's probably not going to come back.
Yeah, he's probably done. At least with Disney and Marvel.
Yeah. So there's that.
Yeah.
Sorry, James Gunn.
Moving on. Iron Fist Season 2 on Netflix, coming out in September, the beginning of September. Is going to have less episodes than other seasons of Marvel Netflix shows. Over the past Daredevil seasons 1, 2, and then Jessica Jones seasons 1 and 2, Luke Cage seasons 1 and 2, and The Punisher all have had 13 episodes. The only exclusion being The Defenders, which was considered a mini-series and not an actual TV show. Even Iron Fist had 13 episodes. However, season 2 of Iron Fist will only be 10 episodes, compared to the previous 13. That has been a complaint of many about the Marvel Netflix shows, about how long they have been, feeling like they have dragged on a bit sometimes. And I believe there's a quote. So there is that. That's going to be shorter. What do you guys think of this?
It's probably for the best. I mean, I know I'm not done with Luke Cage season 1, but it does sort of feel like the point I'm at, there's a lot of like things that could be shorter, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And like I'm not, this has happened, I'm trying to remember which it's good and bad, but it's like the first half of it's happened with Daredevil season 2 as well, where the first half and second half of the season are different stories, kind of.
Yep.
And like that can be good, but at the same time, it's like it also feels like it's just really long, and there's just like a lot of exposition. So I think maybe with this, they're gonna try out and see what, I don't know, maybe having 10 episodes, for instance, or would be like.
Yeah, I mean, I like 13 episodes, but at the same time, like you said, like Luke Cage, it's felt like the first season was almost like 2 different seasons or like show. And yeah, I mean, if it's more concise and like more to the less dragging on, if you will, I guess that'll be cool.
I mean, you see it in all kinds of media too, like a song that drags on too long or a big empty world in a video game. Like, you don't want to make your glass bigger than the water that it holds. So, it makes a lot of sense that they'd I mean, at this point, I trust them enough to where maybe they can handle 13 just fine, like with Daredevil or Jessica Jones. Like, that worked okay for the most part, but like if they don't think they can fill 13 episodes, I'd rather not see content and filler and a waste of resources, you know.
Like, and I don't think they need to fill like a certain amount of episodes.
No,
like,
it's not like a requirement.
Well, no. I know they do for like, you know, like network TV show, cable TV shows, etc.
Well, yeah,
but
those are like for like specific time slots.
Right.
So
yeah.
That's kind of
I noticed they did with like Sense8, another show I watched on Netflix. That they did like the first season was like 12 episodes and the second season was 11 episodes. Like, I think it's fine if they change
just
it up.
doing the amount of episodes that works for the story that you're telling, as opposed to being like, okay, all of them were 13, so we have to be 13.
Right. Definitely cater the length to the content.
Yeah, to whatever your plot, what the story you want to tell. You know, it doesn't matter if you can do it in 8 episodes or 6 episodes. Better than like being like, well, we have to do it in 10 episodes or 13 episodes or
otherwise everyone's trying to drink from a bathtub filled with an inch of water.
Yeah.
And it sucks for everyone.
I don't get that, but okay. Any other thoughts on that? No? All right, so continuing with Marvel on Netflix, Daredevil Season 3 is coming to Netflix this year.
Nice.
According to an interview with Netflix CEO, I guess not an interview, during a quarter 2 earnings video, talked about bringing back the show in the later part of 2018. He said, quote, "In the short team, we've got new seasons coming up in the second half of this year of Orange is the New Black, Ozark, Iron Fist, Daredevil, Narcos, the finale of House of Cards, and follow-up to Making a Murderer." Basically, Daredevil Season 3 is coming out this year. However, no time frame. Iron Fist is coming out September 7th, so it probably wouldn't be until like November or December. Later on, the CEO also said that this is a return to form for Daredevil, basically saying like going back to it just being as good as Season 1 of Daredevil, saying they kind of got off track with Season 2 because of all the Defenders stuff, and this is a lot, I guess, better, more in line with Season 1. So thoughts on Daredevil Season 3 coming out this year, 2018?
I'm excited. I mean, there's so much shit coming out this year that I don't know when I'll be watching it, because games coming out, etc., other TV shows. But
time is a valuable commodity.
I'm glad that's. I've liked the last 2 seasons quite a bit. So.
Excited to see that. Or at least they're saying it's gonna be as good as Season 1.
Yeah.
Season 1 was great, and probably might be my favorite Marvel show. It's between that and Jessica Jones Season 1. But
I mean, all the characters have been through a lot of character changes, Daredevil especially. So
so we'll see. I'm excited. Didn't expect to come out this year, but I'm not gonna complain.
Good stuff.
And then the final bit of entertainment news that's not video games. Patrick Stewart is set to star in a new Star Trek series on CBS All Access that will tell the story of the the next chapter of Picard's life. Stewart himself announced it at a surprise appearance in a Las Vegas Star Trek convention, saying basically he thought it had run its course when the final movie came out in 2002. that he wouldn't have to be doing it anymore. But he's excited to come back, and especially in this time in life, he thinks it's a good idea to have a strong moral reason leadership or a character with that, and he looks forward to doing more in the Star Trek universe with Picard.
Yeah.
So, thoughts on a new next generation sort of Star Trek?
I didn't expect it, to be honest. Like, I never
It's
thought
kinda
it was going to happen.
nowhere.
Yeah, I didn't think it would ever happen again. Like, I didn't, because, he'd done it for so many years, already super iconic, super, like, well regarded as playing that character. That kind of made his career, in a sense, for the stuff that he did after that, X-Men, all that other.
Right.
So it's, like, cool to see him going back. I'm definitely excited. And I'm hoping I get to see all the other, a good portion of the old cast also make, I don't know, if they're not back in the shows, like full-time, like, main characters, maybe some guest appearances. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Come up in an episode or whatever.
Yeah. Get the gang back together a little bit.
I've never actually seen Next Generation.
It's my favorite.
Is it on Netflix?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
The first season, the first like 2 seasons are like a little before Gene Roddenberry died. It gets like it's awful to say it kind of, but like it gets like a lot better after that because he didn't want the characters to have interpersonal conflicts.
Okay.
Or anything
Weird.
like that. Something about his idealized future, I don't know.
Yeah.
But so like after that happens, like it gets, the drama increases a little bit,
Sure.
and like the bad thing is happening increases as well.
Yeah, I should
And
find
the
like
Borg
an
show up. They didn't
abridged
exist before that.
sort of like episode like list.
Yeah, there's
avoid,
probably
like,
one of those somewhere.
filler ones or whatever.
There isn't. Well,
I don't know if
there isn't
is
really
filler.
there's like sort of an overarching plot,
Sure.
but it's over like
or like
this thing referenced here happens again. This character shows up again this season,
Okay.
like in this episode, to do this thing, and then
But yeah,
it's more contained, I guess you'd say.
sure. But
But yeah, I'm definitely excited for that.
yeah, obviously, it's Patrick Stewart as Picard is so, I guess, recognized
Yeah.
that like even someone like me who's never seen it, knows about it.
Oh yeah.
So that does it for movie type stuff this week. Let's get on to some video game type stuff. A new Life is Strange 2 teaser trailer has come out and kind of looks like a police dash cam, kind of showcases somebody with potentially superpowers, if that's right. So what are our thoughts on this, Jay? I know you really like Life is Strange. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, suffice to say, it's been out for a while. The first game, you have like the superpower to reverse time, based on pictures, and it seems like the power is based off the person's like characteristics, like a particular characteristic of some sort. In the trailer, it looked like the superpower was some kind of like put like some kind of like force they're able to exert in a direction or just outwards in general, maybe like flipped over a cop car, like push this guy like flying back across the dash cam. I mean, I'm pretty like, I haven't played the, what was the kind of in between?
Something the
or
storm.
Before the storm.
Before the storm. Yep, that's what
And
it's
don't
called.
they have that like superhero one coming out that apparently is in the same, happens in the same world? It's not the same characters or anything like that.
I don't actually know.
It's like you're like a kid and it's you and your dad and you like pretend you're a superhero. I can't remember the name of this.
The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I haven't played that, and I should play that because it happens in the same world apparently. But it's cool to see them like making this world like in the first game, your superpowers have consequences, I guess, when you use them. The universe is trying to balance itself out, I guess. is how they explain it. So it'll be interesting how they work that in there. How they play out this character. I mean, the choices are pretty cool. The storylines that they use are pretty cool. So I'm excited.
Cool. Yeah. I'm not entirely sure about the. I guess I haven't really played it, but looks interesting. Obviously the first one got major praise, and Jay obviously.
I have it. I just haven't played it. I own the game. I've owned it since like around the time it came out. Actually, I just haven't played it.
It's one of those games that you like look at, and it kind of like like the cover art's weird or whatever. I don't know if I really want to start this. It doesn't look that fun.
It's like a game that's up my alley.
Yeah,
you know, it has all the things that I like in that kind of game. I just haven't done it yet. I don't have any explanation other than that.
I'd say probably put some time aside if you ever do decide to pick it.
Same with I mean, I haven't played Wolf Among Us because I've watched 3 different people play the game entirely.
Oh, and so that's fair.
Like in person.
You already know.
Like I watched Trevor finish it.
Yeah.
I watched Alex finish it. I watched someone, I don't remember. I think you were playing it, and I watched bits of that as well. So I've like seen the game and like different choices that were made.
Yeah.
You know. Haven't done it myself, but
that's fair. I mean,
yeah.
You've already watched it play. It's hard to like play through a game that's very story oriented if you already know the story.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, excited.
Yeah. So moving on, BioWare still working on Mass Effect and Dragon Age alongside Anthem. BioWare has confirmed in a midsummer update by General Manager Casey Hudson saying, quote, we hear loud and clear the interest in BioWare doing more Dragon Age and Mass Effect. So rest assured that we have some teams hidden away working on some secret stuff that I think you'll really like. We're just not ready to talk about any of it for a little while. End quote. So there you go. BioWare is working on more Mass Effect and Dragon Age.
Well, that's good.
People were wondering since Anthem is coming out if they're like shutting down on like either Mass Effect or Dragon Age. With Anthem seem to being their big thing now.
Their destiny.
That they're putting out next February 22nd, 2019.
Yeah.
So thoughts on this?
I mean, I'm glad that that's the case because I was a little concerned that they would just be like, all right, guys, we're just going to jump aboard every trend like 5 years late. And so next up, our Battle Royale game coming out in 2023. But yeah, I'm happy about that. I hope they actually like put like resources into it though, and they're not just like doing it but throwing literally all of their money at like Anthem and Anthem 2.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm honestly not that excited, I guess. It's not really a secret that I'm more of a fan of the earlier than the later games in both Mass Effect and Dragon Age's case. Like, as the episodic trilogy continued for either, I just kind of got less and less well, I guess it's not a trilogy anymore for Mass Effect.
Yeah.
I didn't even play the new one, no. I had to play that one at all. I remember it was talking about how glitchy it was.
Yeah, that one
really
they didn't.
At it.
Like they had like a different team make that one.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Well,
because of Anthem.
Andromeda.
Because of Anthem, they were
because they got like all of the people who actually have experience working on Anthem.
Yeah.
And so they just kind of were like, we'll make a game, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm not like disappointed that they're coming out with them again. I mean, hopefully they're good. Obviously, if I could have it my way, every piece of media ever released would be awesome, and it'd be great, and everyone would have a great time, a grand old time. But I'm just not that convinced that they're gonna. I think maybe they've been walking this horse along a little too long. It's probably dead now, and I think they're beginning kicking the dead horse. And if it
I
spits
don't
out
know.
money, it'll do it for a while too.
Like-
but
like-
I feel like after Mass Effect 3, that's shit ending should have just been done.
No, I don't think like leaving that franchise is a good idea.
I mean, it's a big universe. But
Yeah. I mean, you can do a lot with it. Like, you don't have to. Like, I guess one and doneing it seems a little bit
Yeah,
waste
it's
of an
like-
IP.
I mean, I'm
suppose.
not
I
really.
don't want it to be played out, Like,
I don't
the
know.
races aren't interesting to me anymore. Like, before I was like, oh, these people are blue, or oh, Krogan, they're big and they're awesome. They're not interesting anymore. It's like, oh, Krogan, whatever.
Well, I mean, isn't it like that
They're
with
dumb and strong.
with every sci-fi thing?
Yeah, but I want to see new stuff.
I mean,
I want to see
like,
new
they could-
races.
I mean, they could have new ones. It's not
It's-
like they have
I
to
guess.
have.
I don't know. I kind of like the way they went with Andromeda. Just like, even though I'm not into Mass Effect, I
Yeah.
didn't play Andromeda.
Yeah,
So I mean, I guess take what you
Yeah.
will from me. But like, it's just like the sort of thing where it's like all sci-fi can kind of like get into this like whole, especially like Star Wars and like Halo now, where
Mhm.
it's like they focus on this one group or character in this big, expansive
Yeah.
universe that they've set up, and then it's just like, okay, only do this part, even though people want to know about everything else. Because if you talk about everything else, then that's where you get the new and cool stuff. So I guess that's what I'm saying for
Yeah.
like Andromeda.
I mean, they kind of
wasn't
had to
good.
do that because they because the way they wrote the plot for the original games was
One
like
of the ice cream flavors to destroy the universe that you chose. So.
like not that. I mean, like the fact that you had that there was an ending
yeah.
Right.
meant that they can't use that universe, because then if they do, they either have to go like before any of that happened, or choose a canon ending. And
Yeah.
like, I don't think they want to do that part. I don't
Yeah.
think they want to choose a canon
That would
ending.
kind of like mess up with the whole
Yeah.
choosing your path.
So they
sort of
have
way.
to. It has to be somewhere else. So like, that part of it was like the correct
Right.
choice. The like actual game itself, like, there's like a lot of problems with it that I
right.
have.
Maybe if
but-
I find it for like $10.
I mean, it's all right.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll
it's
try it.
It's fine. It's not like
I guess that is an issue. I've never actually played it, and I don't really understand like the plot.
I don't know. I've never been
It's a-
into like big sprawling RPGs, so like this stuff doesn't interest me that much. I'm especially not that into like high fantasy, so Dragon Age kind of like goes off for
Yeah.
me. Although Dragon Age Inquisition seems to be like one of the few games that kind of interest me based on like the looks of it and everything. But I mean, I'm not against this, but like I'm not like for it per se.
Yeah, I want them to do it like not. I want them to do it like right. Is kind of what I'm concerned about, and it's like, they're owned by EA, so there's like there's a non-zero chance that EA just comes in and fucks everything up. Just does something that just destroys like everything.
I mean, EA sucks.
I mean, like, has there been a good Star Wars
Nope.
game? In
I mean,
when was the last good Star Wars?
I don't know. I guess
Battlefront
I mean,
2.
some people
Not,
like Battlefront.
not that Battlefront 2.
Like the early Battlefront 2. Classic.
Yeah.
2005.
Yeah, that one
I
was
don't know, I
good.
think there was a newer game since.
I guess
that was
Switor's
pretty
good,
Yeah.
but it's
I get.
it's
I
fine.
don't even know like the timeline of Star Wars games to tell you
Yeah, like
exactly.
Well, they haven't come
Lego
out with
Star
that.
Wars.
I guess Lego Star Wars is good, but that's not hard to make good. Lego Star Wars is
it was
Lego.
the first Lego game.
Yeah.
So.
I just like, I'm concerned about that. But if they do it right, I'm excited. But I mean, I have other large RPGs to get excited about, so it won't really affect me that much if they fuck up.
Well, honestly,
I mean,
like,
I got other things to play too.
honestly, like, I've noticed, like, going back and playing a lot of games that I never played, a lot of them have the same exact, like, main character. Sometimes you get to create, sometimes you're just this character. Like, super straightforward skill system where you level up and you put skills in different things that help you throughout the game.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of tired of it. Like that like Breath of the Wild is a huge breath of fresh air in which like you didn't level up. You didn't get experience points. You just got like new gear. And like there were powers, I guess, but they were linked to the story. So it was a little different. And it felt like, I don't know, like less of a time sink, but because of that, I've sunk more of my time into it.
Guess like more like a, I don't know, I say challenge, because
Yeah.
it felt like you were doing things than like the game, I guess, playing for you almost. Like,
Right.
I don't want to say games are like that, but you know what I mean. Like a
Yeah,
game
yeah,
helps
yeah.
you along. You wouldn't
Right.
be able to do this at earlier parts. Whereas like even though the same sort of thing with Zelda, it doesn't feel like that when you
I
complete
don't know. Like,
this
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
It has to be kind of, because if there's the whether or not there's RPG elements in the game can be a little dicey for me. Like that's like my biggest complaint. For instance, example Mass Effect 2 is that like there like items basically don't exist. For example, like I mean, there's like things you can change, but it's like you just have like this, you have this weapon or whatever, and you use all your stuff, but then you just put points into like your skills, but there isn't like an item management system or like a crafting system or anything like that. And I think like you have to, any of those being not present can be a problem depending on how the game's put together. But
Well, I mean, I'm not saying it's like
Yeah.
a necessarily like it makes or breaks the game, like whether or not it's there,
yeah,
but it's just kind of played out and dry. Like it's
Eh.
hard to make that form of
I don't know. Witcher 3 did
RPG
it really
like
well.
fun. Witcher 3 did it well. But that's because like the skills were very minor, I guess, up until like the final few, like actually made like huge differences. Until then, it was like 10% resistance to whatever, like tiny changes. In the last one, it was like you can reflect arrows with your sword. It was like the last one you get, the very end when you've like played the game so much, you kind of deserve it,
And I mean the items in that you can get some really nasty
Right.
bonuses from
really
the items.
really sweet gear. Like
Yeah.
it's not a bad way to make a game. It's just all the games are doing that now, and so it's less interesting, I guess. Like you don't get interesting points anymore. For like, oh, what a cool innovative system. Like now it's like, okay, I see this in every game, so I don't
Yeah.
care. Like the rest of the game better be interesting because this means nothing to me.
I don't know. I should probably play Zelda, but I have never finished one of them before. And I don't know. Just looking at that one, I don't know if I'd finish that one
I
either.
did sink
I have
60
a
plus
problem
hours
finishing
into it.
games. A
I
serious
don't
problem.
think you need to do that much, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm the type of person who I want to complete everything
Yeah.
before I complete the story. So like, that takes a long time when a game like Zelda,
Mhm.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I'm literally like still. I've beaten the game, and I'm playing on master mode or whatever,
Mhm.
and I'm still like finding shit. And there was a village next to a shore, like an unmarked village, like next to like a fishing village. I had no idea existed. And I was like, oh my god, this is a new place. What the fuck? It's big enough to where like you'll keep finding new shit,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and they're really like clever in like how they make the landscape and hide stuff. But a little off topic. I mean,
Also, a weather system is cool.
yeah.
Mhm.
Like, that's a big thing for sure. And it feels like the world's like interacting with you instead of just being like a dead, coated, flat, or like the entire planet is a desert. The entire planet is a forest. The entire planet is an ocean.
Yeah,
That shit
I'm hoping
sucks.
that's not. I mean, some planets are
It's a
like that,
desert
but like
planet.
Yeah.
And there's this little kid who went to Tashi Station to
Oh,
get some
yeah, talking
power
about Tatooine.
converters.
Well, I mean, like it would be fine if they like, oh, this is a desert planet because it's so fucking hot or whatever. That'd be fine if then there were parts of that planet that you literally couldn't go to because of how hot it was. Like still like a temperature difference, Like it being a planet, not like a a ball of one environment.
Well, I mean, most sci-fi is just fantasy with
Sure.
slightly different looks to
it
it.
doesn't have to
So,
be
like,
realistic, but it's more interesting.
The planets are just different. Like in a fantasy world, like there's a desert here, right?
Yeah.
And you can like go there. Or, like
It's
the
just-
characters.
It's
go
just to
there.
make it more interesting to
Yeah.
to hide the fact that it's a pretty small world.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
it's just a fantasy world that for some reason that there's like ships that you travel between the locations to and from.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
You
just
travel
a
in
fantasy.
space instead of like on land or
Yeah, it's
water.
just a fantasy world. I mean, that's like most sci-fi is not actually that sci-fi.
Yeah.
You know.
Mhm.
But yeah.
But yeah, so that does it for the news this week. Let's get on to the juice. Next generation consoles are coming up probably in 2020.
Yeah, 2020. I
Probably.
think. I don't know.
Maybe
I could be wrong.
2019. So what do we want for the next generation of consoles?
Kind of what I'd like is, well, for like I want there to be like a 4K, of course, because this was going to be
Right.
4K, and then preferably like just 60 FPS in most games, or like that's the target,
All
because we already have
games?
4K 30 on like
All games.
pretty much all games
Okay.
that are.
I mean, I feel like that should be something that
yeah.
is for the next generation.
Yeah,
of
'cause that
consoles.
would just make sense. I mean, we're at 4K 30 we have with, Xbox One X, PS4 Pro, so we should be able to do that. Should be better in like a meaningful way, you know.
Right.
And I'm hoping the controllers are good. I mean, I like both of the Xbox One controller and the DualShock 4. I like both of them. I'm interested to see what redesigns they're gonna make.
Yeah, I'm more interested in PlayStation just because, like, I don't know, I've never been a big fan of the DualShock. It's like, all right.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer
but,
the
like,
Xbox.
yeah.
I prefer the offset sticks.
Sticks.
I mean, that's
I also
me.
prefer like the whole shape, I guess.
Mhm.
Instead. Anyway, one thing I want is backwards compatibility.
Oh, of course. I mean, I'm pretty sure Xbox is gonna do that no matter what.
Yeah.
Because like they have to.
I want
basically.
like the PC where I can play any Xbox game I ever owned, on there.
Like just built in.
Yeah.
Like not just like software. Like well, it could be software, but like where it like literally just works.
Yeah,
With
like
every they don't
every
have to.
Xbox
It's not like
game.
we're adding these games to the list, sort of thing.
Right.
It's like they just all work. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Yeah. Well, they kind of have to somewhat because the resolution, but
yeah,
that's a whole other.
sort of like
It's a whole other deal.
well, it's kind of like what is it? I don't know I forget what it's called on Windows, but like where they run an older version of Windows in the
Compatibility.
yeah.
mode.
yeah.
something like that, you
Yeah.
know, but for like Xbox.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I want that. Obviously, the 4K stuff.
Mhm. PlayStation should do backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
If they don't, that would be really awful, and I would hate it if they didn't
Yeah.
do that. But
So that, and then
Um,
I think what sort of like streaming services they've got, and I mean like streaming your games to like your
mhm.
tablet, your laptop, PC.
Yeah.
You know, whatever,
I'd like that system
phone.
to be more robust. I guess you can already do that kind of.
I have played
Yeah.
State of Decay 2 is a game I'm into right now.
Yeah.
And I have played it from my computer with my friend who's on an Xbox.
Yeah,
So you can already kind of do that.
yeah.
But it'd be cool if it was just like
More.
Oh,
crossplay.
and yeah, more cross.
yeah.
there were still issues with it. Like it was weird. I've never encountered this before, but I had to have my Windows Defender firewall enabled, like turned on, for it to connect me. Like before, I was saying, "Oh, you don't have this like weird file, or whatever." I'm like, "What the fuck?" And I kept looking up all these fixes, and I was just fucking with the firewall, and that's what it was. It's just, had to have it enabled for some reason, so it's still like weird, not 100% functional, but having that flushed out for sure would help the new console.
Yeah. Them to not be ugly at launch
Yes.
visually
Not like a fax machine.
Because
Yeah,
like
that'd be
the
cool.
PlayStation 4 and Xbox One like originally looked like terrible in my opinion.
Yeah,
Especially the Xbox One, but the PlayStation 4 is not looking that good either.
You know, like those.
It's fucking ugly.
You know those
Alright.
like light up balls with like lightning in it, and you touch it, and it like goes to your.
Yeah,
fingers?
yeah.
I want that to just be on top of the console. Like, doesn't actually provide or do anything, but it just
add
looks
on.
awesome.
Add-on.
Yeah.
Gimmick add-on.
It just looks cool.
Then
like,
that you can
turn it
buy.
on. It's like, look how cool
you
my
could,
console
you could
is.
buy and put it on top, and then just
I want
Lava lamp. Top of
in
my
addition to backwards compatibility, I want cartridge top loading. So like
I don't
on
think-
your Xbox, you have a Sega Genesis cartridge. You're just like, I'm gonna play Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
on my new Xbox console.
I don't think they're ever bringing cartridges back.
Joke's on you, they already did with the Switch.
Bam.
Well, I mean, like them is in like for Xbox or PS4.
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
think they're ever
Probably
doing it.
not.
But like,
Switch is a handheld,
but a
though,
girl
so
can
it's a
dream.
little different.
A
You can't have
girl-
discs with a handheld. That's a disaster.
what if you could put your phone in the controller?
That'd be kind of cool, but then there'd be like a big space in the controller.
That sounds
That'd
like
Well, it'd be like, you know, like the
sounds like
the
the-
packs on N64s.
okay,
Oh, I
like
was-
It'd
an
be like
add-on.
backloading. Like
Oh,
that.
I was thinking of like the Dreamcast, how they had that little thing in the middle of the controller. You know, there was this thing you could pull out and push in. Like it was similar to that, except it
Okay.
was like a video screen, like a little LCD
yeah,
screen.
yeah.
But yeah,
But that'd be cool because you could like sync up a lot of stuff with that too. Maybe like it would like when you plug it in or whatever, it would like also be like connected via Bluetooth or something. You could pull it out, use it as a keyboard.
Yeah.
you know, I was like
Something like
looking
that.
through the old like videos that like I liked or whatever on YouTube. And one that I think they should bring with the next Xbox is a Luma Room, where they had this thing they like demo.
Oh,
it was
yep,
like
I
where they
remember.
like
Yeah.
shot everything around the
projected
so
around
Like
the
snow
TV.
or whatever.
yeah, so it looked like it was kind of like atmosphere
Yeah,
enhancing sort of thing.
That would be awesome. That'd be pretty sick.
That'd be
I'd like
awesome.
that,
Oh,
yeah.
however, I don't think that's happening because that was like 5 or 6. Like that was demoed on like 360 or whatever. I think it
Yeah,
was.
for
Um,
whatever reason, they're probably not going to do it.
Yeah,
But
that would be awesome.
That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
yeah,
Maybe VR headsets will just be like standard issue.
I think maybe like
Um,
having
like a cheap one.
having a VR solution at or near launch for both consoles would be nice.
I'm wondering if like Microsoft would just like allow like,
Allow like
because like they seem to be going more towards like just third party, like use your Oculus or use your
Actually, that'd be good.
Vive instead.
I like that.
Just a hookup for it.
Yeah,
yeah,
like,
or
because their Xbox is more like a PC
Or
now than
it's
ever
like-
before. So
Mhm.
well, yeah, it should be. I know there's like exclusives per like VR thing,
Mhm.
but it should be just like get your game on Xbox and then like the VR headset is sort of like a TV screen or like a monitor or
Mhm.
you know whatever. So it's like the game is running on your Xbox obviously, but you know the VR headset is like your own thing. Like if you can
Yeah.
like sort of like I said like a TV screen or whatever.
yeah,
Or what if they just integrated your phone like in
But,
multiple
like,
parts of the console?
Although
so
I
you
am
don't
wondering
have
if
to-
PlayStation is just gonna like make another VR headset.
I think so. I think that's what
just continue doing like their own exclusive one that only you can use with their console.
Oh, what if you could cast your phone screen onto your console so you could play Candy Crush on the big screen?
That sounds bad,
That
but you
sounds
can
bad.
already do that, right? With well, not with like Xbox, but like, or at least I don't think so, or PlayStation. But I think you can with like the Amazon Fire thing,
Mhm.
Weird.
stick or whatever, and like Apple TV, I think.
I said
You know,
that mostly
all
as a
the
joke.
like Roku stuff, you know,
yeah.
stuff like that. Does I don't know what streaming devices that.
Yeah, I said it mostly as a joke because it sounds like a terrible idea, but I'm even more disappointed to learn that it already exists.
On your on your Ouya.
Oh, I have like 7 Ouyas. Oh, it's the greatest console ever. So good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
what if they had backwards compatibility for other consoles?
Nah, that's not gonna happen.
Hey, the Wii kind of did when it had Virtual Console.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It had
but-
Sega Genesis, Master System, the Geo, and the TurboGrafx, whatever.
What if they had like I'm just going like crazy with these ideas now.
Yeah, now
What if,
these are
like-
getting like
What if
absurd
like dead
and not
like
actually
third-party
happening.
companies that like I don't know, I guess they still have rights or whatever, but like anywhere that they could like get away with using the game, like just put that on their console too.
Wait, what?
Like even like weird, like I don't know, like because Nintendo owns Sega, right?
Yep.
No,
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 they
they
don't.
don't. No,
Is
they-
Sega just,
Sega's
like unowned.
They're owned by.
Oh, I guess they just own a
Sega.
console, right?
I
right.
mean, they don't sell. They just become like EA
Yeah.
and like Ubisoft.
Yeah.
They sell their own. They're a third party developer.
I was suggesting like picking up like dead properties essentially, and just throwing it on the console. But I guess they're dead for a reason.
I mean,
so it
yeah.
probably wouldn't
And
help.
If they wanted to, they probably
Yeah.
already could or
Yeah.
would. You know.
Somebody owns it.
Yeah. Someone owns it, so.
What if they put an NES emulator on the Xbox?
I mean, then they.
Highly doubtful, considering Nintendo has. Also, we didn't really talk about Nintendo. I know, like the Switch just came out, so they're probably
Yeah,
not
it's-
going to be new one for a while. But
Yeah.
It's gonna be weird.
is
Probably
there
something
going to be
else
like a
is coming.
Switch 2?
I think it's gonna be a while. It's probably gonna be a
They're
while.
probably
for
gonna
them.
use the Switch for a while. I'm guessing.
Yeah, because it was successful.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So that
and it's still not like something everyone owns yet.
Yeah.
That'll be a little bit once they come out with more games that people want. I think that'll be like it won't be weird anymore to see someone walking down the street with their Switch.
Does PlayStation try to emulate that?
I doubt it. They don't need to.
And
But
they're,
they
like,
have
their
done. They
handheld
did the
games
Vita,
dead.
which they didn't need to.
Yeah, but the Vita sold like garbage.
Yeah,
Right.
Sony's like handheld
but
games.
Sony
dead.
is crazy enough to do
I mean, they
that.
could, but like,
Maybe.
why would they do that when they could just put all their eggs in, like, into making more games for
or
the
just
PlayStation?
mobile games.
Because
Or
they're
making mobile
well,
games.
here's
Just
why.
make-
Here's why.
yeah.
Because the Japanese market is more mobile based,
Yeah,
and they're a Japanese company.
but they get most of
And
their
so-
revenue
Right
from the
elsewhere
United States and Europe.
and Europe.
yeah.
And, so I'm just saying it's a possibility.
Hmm.
It's true.
That's why they
Yeah.
made the Vita and the PSP.
That'd be weird to see like Sony just suddenly makes a handheld and it's like actually competitive with Nintendo.
I don't think it would be competitive, but I could see them doing it again.
Try something. Oof, Jesus, I don't know where that
But
fucking
yeah.
came from.
Kind of getting in crazy territory now.
Yeah. What if your Xbox could transform into a car?
It'd be a Transformer.
Transformer Xbox.
Yeah, that's what it would be.
I'm driving my Xbox to work. Don't worry, I'll be there soon.
Yeah. All right. I think that does it for us on this episode of the Clever and Original Podcast. Jay, if people want to find you on the social media sphere, where could they do that?
If you want to come find me, drive your Xbox on over to my Twitter at Jayden Reinhart.
And JJ, where can people find you?
J Larson 107 on
Yeah.
Twitter.
And you can find me at Kayley Misialek on Twitter. You can find us all at Clever_Original on Twitter. And as you are right now, listen to us each and every week on SoundCloud, iTunes, and other podcast services. And we'll catch you next week, guys, in episode 157.
Peace.